what kind of key or whatever.
There's a place in Summersworth by the,
Yeah, on the left-hand side by Kelly's Row,
yeah.
He's gotta have somebody
by
go to the
Tide
car.
Wagon. I'm sorry?
The car doesn't work,
Oh, there's a key, there's a.
so he's gotta have somebody go to the car, I think, to do it. So
Alright, so
traveling rocks.
we're back into public meeting, or not public meeting, but selectmen meeting. Alright, so I guess the only thing we got is individual selectmen issues, and then go around the board. Laura, any individual selectmen issues?
I just wanted to say, when Deborah had said about driveway permits, this past year, we did collect $800, and I think they're $50 a piece, so we did do driveway permits.
Wonderful.
I saw Skip out there doing measuring roads and stuff, he must
He
have been
does, he doesn't
911.
do that.
He
He does
does,
911.
Yeah, I saw him
That's-
911.
yeah.
No.
yeah, but that's awesome, Laura, thank you for that answer.
Anything else?
Just that we'll have to, did you guys all look at this? We're gonna have to decide which one of these so we can sign the tax rate next week.
Yeah, I like the cheaper one, but I see that historically they picked the third one.
Not necessarily. What do you mean the third one?
The thing I don't have with me, but.
Well, we need to, so he can finish our tax commitment, so we can do tax bills. We're gonna have to decide on one, because next week, we will have the commitment to sign, but we have to decide which one to go with.
Yeah, when I say the tax rate options, I like the third one. The overlay of 88, which is, you know.
And you understand,
Find what you're looking
Could
at.
you explain it to me
Yeah.
then, Laura? I don't understand it.
because we have to,
Do I have a copy?
yeah, you had,
I have a copy.
Where'd I get it?
Lynn gave it,
Oh,
it had your
yeah,
name
yeah,
on
my
it, and he
bad,
had
my
all
bad.
the stuff there.
Yep, I got it.
You know,
It's for the overlay one?
Yep,
yes, the overlay, it's a formula to do our commitment, we have to put numbers in there and give him information.
Right.
So he's given us 3 options that we can choose. There's usually 3, a higher, a lower, and an in the middle. There's always 3
And what are
options.
the options?
Well, 1562, 1567, or 1557. Each one of those, though, creates different overlays.
Correct.
So obviously, the higher you go, the more overlay you get. An overlay produce different overlays, which is used for unpaid taxes, abatements, and other things. So, you know, that's why he sent this to us, so we could look at it, and, because we have to tell him so that next week he can do all the figures, so, because we'll have to sign on something so they can do the tax bill. So,
I guess, and when I look at I look at the past year's performance on them, and percentage, you got 1524 for 2016, 2017, they kept the tax rate pretty much right where it needed to be. And then you got 01530.
so it's 1530,
You're
yeah.
right, 1530, so I looked at that, 2018, me. I personally, you know, I don't think we should go any higher than 57. That's our lowest option, we gotta try to keep the tax rate, the overlay as low as possible, that's just my opinion.
Well, the overlay is something you need if, you know, abatements and all that stuff, so remember that, you
Well, I
know.
understand that, but I'm looking at the number, if we go to 156, you know, we're still,
What was the difference?
What did we have for abatements last year?
Well, what was left over from the overlay last year?
I don't know that.
well, it's saying overlay of 112,847, so we only had 3 abatements?
Gosh,
We had more than that? No, I'm talking about recently, so far the year.
well, no, this would have been, but understand, this ended June 30th.
No, I got you,
Our tax year goes July 1st to June 30th.
I got you.
So that's a whole year of, and when you'll see a lot of abatements and supplements will be,
Right after you get the tax bill.
get the tax bill and people look at them and, you know, things like that. I mean, I don't know, I don't have that in front of me, so I have no idea. But it's just, we just have to tell him which one to go with, and then next week you'll officially sign it. So that's all.
Then, I mean, the only one I'd be open to, if not the 57, would be 62, so that's where my vote would go.
Well, I can see that's the overlay is the same as 2017.
No, right.
So the overlay just covers what you don't collect in
Payments and stuff and
taxes.
tax, what we don't collect,
And
yeah.
abatement.
Right.
Your abates.
So is there a way to find out what we used of the overlay last year?
Well, yeah, not today, but yeah.
Because if we only use like 40,000 the last 3 years each year, then I'd want to go with the lower one. But if we're using 100,000, 105,000, then I'd want to go with the middle one.
Yeah, but here's the thing you gotta keep in mind too, when I sent this question out, you guys probably got the traffic on it. Just taking the new rates, and I got, oh, that's a great question, and
Yeah.
everything else, the Homestead Act, Homestead rate goes up to 25,000, which is gonna offset these costs, it's gonna come back to us.
But that doesn't go up this, yeah, that doesn't happen this year though.
Right, and you may not get it because you're not, because of your certified assessment. You may not get that full 25,000.
Correct.
So it's
Because we're
not this year
we're
anyway.
not at
so-
And
100%.
it's going into fall, you know, I
Well,
understand.
they might not get the 20 this year either.
Right. Okay, so with that said, I'm with Chuck on, you know, we're not only spending so much money, I don't wanna see what we're spending, what we spent last year for overlay.
The last couple of
Yeah,
years.
the last couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah, for the last 3 years.
Because if we're doing $180,000 in overlay,
Well, it's almost like the tax, the insurance thing, they over budgeted for it,
no, I mean, I get the date.
Because you didn't know.
Right.
right,
You know, that's like, you're not sure. I mean, they could all be on single policies and suddenly, oh, my husband lost, all their husbands could lose their insurance, and then they could have to put the husband and the kids, so it's kind of an unknown thing, which,
You
yeah,
gotta
but
put a buffer in.
if you know what we've used for overlay in the last 3 years, though,
Right, well,
it'll give us.
you're gonna have to
an idea.
ask someone to look that up. I don't obviously have that.
If you look at,
Okay.
if you look at the date 2016, this is what it was explained to me, that's really based on what we did roughly that year. As far as, you know, but that was, the way they explained it to me, those are stuff that we granted abatements and everything for, but that year, you know, we were in the middle
Well,
of a
this is
recession.
what
Let me
they
finish.
use for an
Let me
overlay,
finish. I'm telling you how they explained it to me.
okay,
And so they're telling me that's basically because there was a lot of people that we had to do abatements, that's why that number's 180,000.
No, that was the overlay that year.
Right,
That
that's
was
what I'm
the
saying.
overlay, that wasn't what we spent.
That's not
Yeah, that was the
spent.
That
amount.
was what it was allowed, but they told me it was allowed because of the way the economy was working at the time. So.
It's always 5%. It's the form. See this paper? This is how they do it. They put all these numbers in,
Okay.
and then the overlay can only be 5% is the highest it can go.
Right, okay.
So all of this figures into it.
Okay.
You know, our revenues, what we're raising for taxes, you know, and that's what he showed you. Now, he'll have a full paper next week, but this is what he's showing you how he got there,
Okay.
these numbers, you
Right.
know, our taxable valuation of real estate, you know, personal property, you know, exempt, the homestead, all that stuff. So that's how they get there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, I get what you're saying now, so that makes sense, okay.
You know,
So each one of these, it says at the bottom, if line 23 exceeds line 20, select a lower tax rate.
Yeah.
And in each case, it exceeds line 20. So that means we would select the lowest rate.
And then you look at the county tax number 7, you guys all saw that came from your county, right?
yes,
Okay.
that's part of it. That's part of the, you know, you have the county tax, you
Formula.
have the municipal, and then you have the school. Look at the school.
Right.
I mean, look at that.
No, I was just
School
wondering
went
if
up.
everybody saw that, because that was sent out too with that traffic, okay?
The school went up 300,000 this year.
yeah.
Yep, look at that, and salaries going right through the roof.
Well,
No, hey, listen, I'm not, I think the school board, they just throw, I've been to the meetings, but, you know, they, you know, well, yeah, Dana?
Question, you seem to be, coming up for a tax rate.
yes,
Has O'Donnell completed the valuations?
And won't be done until
no,
No.
2 more years.
2021.
Yeah,
2021.
Okay, so they're working their way
Right,
up towards the
Mhm.
north.
Yeah,
They're on map R12 right now.
Okay. And then they're gonna be going to the U's, I believe. Okay, thank you.
so, I mean, I don't know, that's just, you know.
Well, if we could have what we used in overlay for the last couple of years, I think that would help make my decision.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to get that tomorrow or something.
Okay.
From somebody, cause I don't have it.
Yeah, okay, so do we need to have this back to them by?
They need to know what we want to go with, so that he can prepare everything, so next Thursday it can be signed, so they can do tax bills. You know, we have to sign the commitment, then they'll get it in Trio,
Is this
and,
for Lynn? I asked Lynn for that?
yeah, she's gonna have to get it, she's gonna have to.
Yes.
Oh, she's not here tomorrow, she's off. Oh, let me see if I can find it, I'll just rummage around and see if I can find it, cause we must have had it in our, stuff somewhere, so, let me just see if I can.
Well, would that be in the, audit?
No, the state's doing?
Shouldn't be in the audit.
No.
Should be in your Trio program.
Well, it's probably in our,
It should be an audit, shouldn't it, what we use for an overlay?
No, because it doesn't matter what you used for an overlay, it matters what you used out of that overlay.
That's what I said, it should be an audit though.
I think we used, what's this one? 17, 18. This is 17, 18, we need 18, 19.
What was 17, 18 we used?
70. 70,000.
In 2000,
I don't know what we just used.
17, 18, that was green.
So this is, that's what this one is. I can find it then. So I'll have to look.
Is it in the expense thing he gave us?
It, the one that would have been, it would have been 18, 19. So,
That's what you said, 5.7. That keeps us tight, right? But that keeps us real tight.
I'm just saying, you know, be careful,
No, I hear you.
because.
Gives us about $10,000 to play with, so.
If it's the same as it was 2 years ago.
well, let's look and see what the other 2 years were too.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And then just so we can have a historical,
Oh, yeah, no, we should definitely look at it, you know? But I don't wanna see is just, we throw an average,
if I don't wanna throw out just the lowest amount either, if we're not, we're gonna
Yeah, but it's
need
already-
more.
No, I understand that, I do, that's why I said if it's only a difference of $10,000, I mean, it's tight.
Yeah,
I can't get in there, so I don't know.
You got your budget book that you put everything in?
it's in the car. No, it's not, I didn't bring it this time.
I have mine.
Okay, so if we can't make that decision, then we just,
When you gotta be turned in by?
well, he just needs to know,
When?
so he can finish the paperwork and get it back to us for Thursday to
I think
sign
if
it.
by close of business Monday, give them enough
Yeah.
time, right?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
You have to
Monday.
make that tax commitment, decision in public.
Well, we're technically gonna sign it in public. I mean, he
Well,
needs to
yeah.
know, he needs, yeah, but, you know, he needs to know what we want him to do to finish it, so, you know.
I would make that decision in public.
Yeah, well, don't hold it against.
Just
We do, I just wanna make
I'm
sure.
just saying for your benefit too.
No, we just,
I'm
I
way
just wanna
past
know
that.
all the facts of how much money they're spending in past years for the overlay.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't make that decision outside of a public meeting.
Well,
Well, I don't know what
the
you're
top
gonna
one is the one that's basically recommended. So they got.
So the median.
Information, the median, yeah. So, you know, like you said, you know, and what I was getting at is the economy's different and the rules are different and everything changes. Why I asked the question what the.
There's the new,
Yeah.
there's a new thing with the poverty.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, we may wanna look at the medium, and I think that's probably realistic.
Well, like that's what was used in 2000.
No, that's what the overlay was,
I know, that's why I'm
but not
saying,
used, yeah. Right.
But the thing that changed, the
what
biggest
they've
thing that
used in the
changed,
past for
biggest thing
overlays.
that changed is the new poverty abatement rules for elderly.
Right.
If we're gonna sell their property.
Right, yeah, right, so that's the biggest thing. And then, you know, I know you said the homestead doesn't really, but that's gonna come into play, I think, before the year's up,
Cause it is, cause it's not gonna be as high as it was.
Right.
so. I'm good with you know, hindsight, you know, knowing that it was 78 or whatever prior to the rule changes, I think it's not unrealistic to expect a few dollars more, so 1562 would probably be the way to go, that covers you, that's not the high end, that's right in the middle. You know, that's kind of
And
a reasonable decision.
The main reason is for the school budget going up to
That's
300,000.
it, that's the biggest reason, yeah, because that's coming into play too.
I'm okay with that, the middle one as well, Jeff's idea.
It is my idea, but.
Make the motion.
You guys-
I'll second it.
You guys all said you wanted to see the, historical
would
data
be,
first,
but-
we can wait.
But like you said, if we really should make a decision so that he can move forward with the paperwork that we need for next Thursday. It's not something we should
Yeah, and
table.
if one year was 80,000 and we were within 8,000,
Yeah, that's not
even
much.
if the other years were only 60, if we can hit it within 8, then I think it'd be smart of us to go with the 1562.
Just to cover, because the biggest thing's gonna be that foreclosure changer.
Yep.
So,
Would you be happy with that, Laura? Okay.
Yes.
Well, you've been doing this much longer than we
Well,
have.
not really, but yeah.
just math.
Well, it is, but still, you know, you don't know what else is gonna happen and unforeseen things, and if you go, you know,
That's why I said, if you did it the other way, it'd be really tight.
And any money goes back into the general fund anyway that we don't use, right?
correct?
So, but it gives us more options
People
too.
tax bill aren't gonna care about the general fund.
Well, they might, cause we use some of that money to lower their taxes,
Yeah,
so.
we use that money to
Yeah.
pay little taxes. And pay roads.
So we got any, anybody make a motion on it, you want me to
I'll make a
motion?
motion that we use 1562.
Motion made to use 1562 by Selectman Burns.
Second.
Seconded by Selectman Russell. Any discussion? Based on the data we have available to us right now, I would say that's a smart choice, and I'm gonna call all in favor? Motion carries. Alright,
Does that not set the tax rate?
Well, not until we sign a
No, it just
paper.
sets the overlay. It just sets the overlay.
No,
No,
That's-
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 1562 is,
Huh?
1562 is what you're gonna use for your tax
We-
commitment that you
yes,
sign next.
That's what our plan is.
Thank you.
okay, any other things? Any other individuals, issues there?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Alright, Selectman Russell, or Chuck, or Chuckles, or whatever you wanna be called, any issues with you?
No?
No? Karina? Any
Okay.
issues?
Well, we already talked about the cannabis committee.
It's a done deal.
Highway. This was actually something we needed for the comp plans, was a list of highway, a list of the highway properties, what we own. For
Yeah.
vehicles, equipment,
Equipment.
Yeah,
equipment. Yes, we need that for our comp plan.
That should be on the insurance document.
Right, and it should be for, we should have it for the insurance now.
Insurance.
No, we should have it, the list,
No,
we did the list for the insurance
Listen,
policy.
I'm just chuckling after what we were told last night.
I know, right? But the
Wow.
list should be
Yeah,
there,
no, I agree with you.
the highway.
Yep.
Highway, property list,
Okay, anything else?
yeah?
Yeah,
It was also brought up that, the Tri-City Selectmen's meetings,
Tri-City Selectmen meetings, yes.
Mm-hmm.
and should we?
Tri-town.
Tri-town,
Yeah,
Tri-town,
although we found out we can be called the city if we wanna be.
if you want it, yeah, no, we don't. Let City,
right.
okay, anyways, so
It's North Berwick's turn.
Yeah.
so do we wait for them, or do,
Might be something that might interest.
You can
Reach out to him.
reach out to Dwayne and say, hey, when
Dwayne
you have,
Warren?
yep, if you want to, but it's their turn. They usually pick the topic, whoever's doing it.
When's our turn?
Sandwiches and stuff.
We just had our turn, we did, solar,
Is he in South Berwick?
no, no.
No, fairly.
We did solar and we did LED lights.
Okay, and do we need to make an official committee for, grant writing? I'm just wondering because the stream crossing that we're gonna be doing is,
Yeah, we wanna determine who we is.
that's right, I guess we have to
Apparently.
determine who we are. Should it be for specifically to look at the stream crossings, or is it in general, should we do a grants?
So we have had a grant writing committee in the past, but nobody was interested in it. So it was, they sent me to school and they said I was the grant writer, but then we couldn't get any of the department heads to identify grants that they were interested in receiving. I did get one from the former fire chief, and we went through the process of writing the entire grant, only to find out that even though that former fire chief said that we utilized this work company, we did not. And so we were thrown out of the process after many hours of work. So, but we did have that. My term just expired and I didn't ask to be reappointed because I was getting no discussion from the board.
Well, I think with all the budget issues we've had, it might be something that we would look into reinstituting a grant.
I'd be
Committee?
willing to sit on that, you know, I mean.
I'd be interested too, especially since, that one
Just
grant
that one,
writing
we could.
was amazing,
have
how
so
much
much
money we
fun.
could save and
Yeah.
things that we could move forward in the town, that perhaps once we.
I just wanna make something clear too, when I said that they were looking like for a small match, whatever it was, I wasn't promoting $5,000, I wasn't saying that we would use 5,000. That was only a, for instance, an example.
Yeah, well, like he said, the three.
We would obviously come to the board,
That's
we
why,
meaning Karina and me. and
The grant writing
We would
committee.
obviously come to the board and ask
I think
for
everybody
your
understood
ideas
that,
and
that's why I
things.
said that to her.
Well, I didn't wanna get into a.
No, I understand, no, and I appreciate that, yeah.
You know,
No.
so I
I
just
like
wanted to make that
$3.99.
clear.
What's that?
$3.99.
Yeah, $3.99.
No,
Free.
$3.99.
Oh, free.
Free.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
A lot of things can be free for
No, I think that's
No.
crystal clear.
Yeah, I wanted to make it clear while we were on video that wouldn't be a decision for your committee, that would be a decision for the select board.
So I would like to say, reestablish the grant writing committee.
Okay, I have a question. Does this mean that anybody that applies for a grant would have to go through this committee?
Not necessarily, if they wanted our assistance, so I know, because I know Chief Merrill has
That's what I
done
was
some.
meant.
They don't have to go through us if
Okay.
they wanna do their
As long
own.
as they can still, people that are
But
doing that.
Residents in town could see something,
Well, too, right, residents, and I know
Right, or-
somebody else in town that writes grants.
right?
And also, you never know, maybe Chief Merrill may not be here forever. And if people
Really?
move in and out of
You know
positions.
something we don't know?
No, I'm just saying, people,
I'm calling him
Hey.
for the scoop.
no, I'm just saying, anybody. You may not be here, who knows?
I could get hit by a truck.
Right, I'm just saying, and so to establish,
And I joke on air because I'm that guy.
a committee, I'm just saying, establishing a committee that,
No, it's fine.
Well,
mean,
just as
Frank-
long as it doesn't make everybody say you can't apply for a grant without using this committee.
No,
We don't wanna do that.
No, but
Marcy does
she is-
amazing with
she
her
does
grants
great.
Yes, she
at the
does.
library. So why should she have to stop doing that
Absolutely.
and hand it over
But
to
if
the
somebody
committee?
wanted assistance or be on the committee to give us assistance,
Right.
I just think it would be good, and if we're looking for money, that's always a good
Or,
thing, right?
like, for example,
I like
North
$3.99.
Rossville, for example, York Hospital, they give out many grants under many different foundations that they have. And if
Yeah.
somebody, saw one of those grants and they thought it might fit, within something that was going on
Like
in
they do for
Lebanon,
the, they used
but
to
they
do
don't know how to
recreation.
write a grant,
Right.
because grant writing is very technical, they could come to us and ask us to do it, or ask us to assist them
Yeah,
to do it.
because I know the rec department used to get,
Well, not the rec department, but the festival.
no, but the rec department back in the day used to
Oh,
get
okay.
stuff from York
Alright.
Hospital.
Ready,
Yeah.
Karina, here it comes. Scott's here for the executive session, so we gotta speed it up a little.
Okay, so can we move forward with the grant
Yes.
committee?
Yes.
All right, so I make a motion that we reinstall, what do you wanna say,
Reestablish.
reestablish a grant writing
I'll
committee.
second
All in, oh,
Any discussion? All in favor? It carries. There you go.
okay, all right,
Quick.
so I have more, so let's pick up after
Remember that
this.
little gremlin
it.
game?
Well,
Yes, I have more public
then we gotta go back into public session.
Yeah, we do afterwards, yeah.
Grants,
Okay, girl.
and maybe we should put that also on the website so that anybody else that wants to
We gotta get that
participate.
I understand, we get the executive session.
I understand that.
All right, I make a motion, I make a motion, we go into executive session pursuant to MRSA 40568, personnel matters.
Second.
Second, motion to go in executive session, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, here we go, let's go get 'em.
See you guys later.
We'll be
Be
back.
back. Hey, can you go get a tea for me?
Done at Cumbies or something? Like a
Dunkin'
iced
Donuts?
tea?
Is Dunkin' Donuts?
Like-
Oh, you want
Yeah,
Dunkin'
like 5
Donuts?
minutes.
Does anybody, I'm gonna run to Dunkin' Donuts.
Why don't you drive?
Anybody want something at Dunkin'
Why don't
Donuts?
you drive?
Well, if it's gonna be that quick, is it gonna be
Yeah,
that
it's
quick?
gonna be.
Never mind, it's gonna be quick, I heard it's gonna be quick. Okay.
Scotty, they're saying you're gonna be quick. They're firing you.
No,
Yeah, so it's like they can't fight.
Fire him.
no, we can't.
Oh, yeah, shut the.
Oh, what is